Hello and welcome to this week's Ruby Shoes podcast, bringing you the very best of local entertainment across East Anglia each and every week. This week we've been talking to Paulus ahead of his next round of touring with his hugely popular homage to the late great Victoria Wood. His show Looking for My Friend comes to Sudbury Quay Theatre this month, plus we've not just had one but three reviews for you this week. We've had a very busy week in Theatreland. First, though, Looking for Me Friend, the music of Victoria Wood. It's a wonderful celebration of the music of the late comedy genius and national treasure that was. And it's written and performed by Paulus, the cabaret geek. He was also in BBC One's All Together Now and King of Cabaret. Paulus is coming to the Quay Theatre in Sudbury on Sunday the 24th of March from 7:30pm as part of a new spring-summer tour. The show itself is directed by multi-award-winning cabaret artist Sarah Louise Young. And the show is absolutely filled with love, laughter and fabulous memories of Victoria Wood. So fans of her will thoroughly enjoy it, as well as people who've never seen it before as well. Many of Victoria Wood's best-loved songs through the decades are featured, including It Never Would Have Worked, Reincarnation, and of course the classic Ballad of Barry and Frida, Let's Do It, as well as some of her lesser-known and more poignant compositions. The acclaimed pianist Michael Ralston from Fascinating Aida joins Paulus on stage, proving that many have known for decades it does take two men to do the work of one woman. Now, I began by asking Paulus how long it's been since he began this project.
Well, we're in our fifth year of the project now, actually, Steph. And of course, because of the pandemic and issues like that, there was a slow start. But yeah, officially, on and off, we've been doing this for just over 4 years now. And we are touring from mid-March, just a couple of weeks away again, and sporadically doing that until the end of November this year. So our website has 38 shows listed already, but that'll probably double by June time. So yeah, another busy year traveling the country with Michael Ralston on the piano, my wonderful sort of Julie Walters to my Victoria Wood. And we're really looking forward to meeting more Vic fans. It's just a joy, really, to celebrate a missing friend.
Oh, very much so. And she is, and everybody has been touched in some way by her comedy because she was just so brilliant, but so sort of down to earth and kind of reachable somehow, wasn't she? Her comedy just seemed to sort of span every generation.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'd think that sort of 5 years down the line, I'd have some glaringly obvious insights into, oh, it's the southern audiences that love her more than the northern ones, or the men aren't as keen as the women. It's not true. All the straight men in the audience adore her. All of the women adore her. All the gay men adore her. All the northerners, all the southerners, everybody. And the really fabulous bit, though, Steph, is when I meet somebody after the show. I met a young woman the other day, and I said to her, did you have any idea what just happened? Because you look like you might be too young to remember Victoria's work. And she said, I'm 22. She said, look, here's my badge. She was 22 that day. It was her birthday. I said, why have you come? And she said, well, I learned about you. And then I saw that you were doing this show locally. So I really wanted to come. And these people tend to leave saying, I'm going home to find everything I can on YouTube. I want to learn everything about her and really do a deep dive into her back catalogue, which is super, absolutely wonderful.
That's really interesting. So it's not just fans of Victoria Wood, it's people finding you and your show, and you're then inspiring a whole new generation of fans. I would imagine when you first set out on this journey, that's not something you thought would probably happen.
No, I know you're absolutely right. I didn't think that. And now, again, now we're further down the road to be able to remember all the lovely people who have said, thank you for keeping her memory alive, and just super, super kind things like it's like you brought her back to life for 2 hours. It's like she was back in the room with us, which is so nice. I remember there was a really, really early performance that we did where I was very struck by two different people who came to speak to me after the show. And one was a man he's probably 25 or something. And one was a woman who would have been at least 70, I'm sure. And they both came up to me and said exactly the same thing. They both said, "You've just told my life story on stage."
Oh,
I know, isn't that strange? And it's all, we do talk a lot about how Victoria's love of language and wordplay was almost like a Polari in the 80s and 90s that helped you to find your friends, the people with the same sense of humor than you as you. And that when you are sort of marginalized by society for whatever reason, that matters a tremendous amount.
yeah.
And that might be because you're too fat, or because you're spotty, or because you're gay or black, or it doesn't matter why. She did seem to speak to the outliers of society somehow.
Yeah, very, very much. Now, your show, Looking for My Friend, tell us a bit more about it. If someone's literally never heard that before or no idea what the show's about, but thinks, oh, I'd quite like to come along to that, tell us about it.
Well, Looking for My Friend is a quote from one of her characters. She doesn't have a name, this character, but she's got a friend called Kimberly. And Kimberly is who she's always looking for. So that's why it's called Looking for My Friend. But of course, more broadly, it's called that because I appreciate that many of us felt like Victoria was our friend, even though we'd never met her. And for us to all connect with a missing person, Victoria not being there, and to create more friendships is just mind-blowing to me. But the actual content of the show features on her songs. And many people know that she was a playwright, did stand-up comedy, wrote sketches, and of course, Brilliant Dinner Ladies sitcom. But lots of people overlook her music, I feel, given that she was a tremendously accomplished musician. So we do 21, myself and Michael on the piano, we do 21 of her songs in a sort of whistle-stop tour during an hour and a half. And when you consider that there isn't a single co-writer, like lyric or note, not a single song from the early 70s until her death. There's not one person involved other than Victoria herself. It's quite a body of work.
That's incredible, really, when you think about it. That just shows her huge talent and her huge variety of talent as well. And the songs are and were absolutely hilarious. I can
Yeah.
remember seeing her on the television, when we all sit around on a Saturday night and she would be playing, and the whole, my parents would be laughing, my older sisters would be laughing, just literally reached out to everybody, didn't they?
Yes, and I was watching her in the 80s, 1985. I was watching her with my mum, who is the age I am now, 48, and my sister, who is 9 years older than me. So this very strange sort of 48-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 10-year-old, all being able to find something funny within that. There's very few shows, isn't there, that seem to be able to straddle that. The Muppet Show seems to manage to entertain both the children and the adults in the audience, but you could probably count them on one hand, I think. And somehow with a scene on TV, Vic managed that. Absolutely.
Mhm. She certainly did. We're really lucky because you're back in Suffolk again. Tell us where you're going to be and the dates and how we can get hold of the tickets.
Now, I know I'm coming to Sudbury, and that's this month, definitely. I'm having a look on my website because there's so many days I can't remember stuff. I'm coming to the Key Theatre. Do you know the Key
Oh,
Theatre?
I do. It's a lovely, a gem of a theatre, and very
Oh,
just beautiful little theatre in Sudbury,
oh,
right by the river.
lovely. I'm looking forward to that. So that will be on the Sunday, the 24th of March. And then next month, in April, I'm coming back. I'm coming to Lowestoft on the 12th of April to East Point Pavilion.
Thank you so much. Are you performing tonight? Have I caught you in between rehearsals, or have you actually got some time off at the moment?
I've got, because I produced the show myself, I'm either signing contracts or sending invoices or performing the show. But I'm at home. I'm at home with the cat and my home comforts for a couple more weeks. And then I'll be back on the road with Michael. And just in case anyone is hearing Michael Ralston, his full name there, that I mentioned earlier on, you might have seen him playing the piano for Fascinating Aida in the last 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, I share Michael with the wonderful girls from FA, which is a true honor. And we've been pals for 25 years. And we literally became friends because of Victoria's words and comedy. So it's a true story. We play ourselves and we stand there and we go, yeah, this is why we love her. Why did you show up? So if you can, come see Michael and I on the road, won't you?
Now, we have been busy visiting shows in this past week at Ruby Shoes Podcast, so we've not just got one, but 3 reviews for you. The first was The Woman in Black, which spent all of last week scaring audiences at the Ipswich Regent Theatre. Now, it's not something I'd seen before, so I had no preconceived ideas of what to expect. And it was both thrilling and frightening, but also intriguing. And the acting by Mark Hawkins and Malcolm James was literally spellbinding. Set 2 really cleverly designed and certainly made your spine tingle throughout. The spooky play is inspired by the original book, which was written by Sarah Hill in 1983, and it was originally a gothic ghost story, and it's been touring across the world ever since. If you haven't seen Woman in Black, I can highly recommend it. This is what we thought once they'd put the lights back up at the end of the 2-hour performance. Oh, that was The Woman in Black. What were you expecting? It was nothing like I expected.
No, nor me really, but incredibly cleverly. The acting was superb. The mental pictures that were painted were absolutely phenomenal.
Oh my goodness, I think my heart's still racing at the moment. And it's just really, I don't know, don't come with any preconceived ideas to watch it, because it's just...
It's not what you expect, is it?
No, it's not what you expect, but actually, my goodness me, it's like you could have heard a pin drop several times, couldn't you, with this whole auditorium here. I think there's 9 or 1,000 people, and yet you couldn't hear a thing because everyone was holding their breath so many times.
Yep, you nearly jumped out of your skin on several occasions.
Yeah, definitely. But we can't give the game away because we don't want to spoil it for anybody else.
No, exactly. That's part of the challenge.
Just so clever, and the acting. You know, I mean, I'm always astounded by how well people act things anyway. But you know, the people involved, shall we say? We don't give too much credit. The people involved, incredible acting, and you are just completely sucked in, and you are there with them, aren't you?
Absolutely, and the stage production, the theatre production, the use of lighting, sound. So I can't give anything too much away, but
props,
all of that stuff.
So clever.
Very, very clever indeed.
Yeah, brilliant. If you get a chance to see Woman in Black, definitely go.
Oh, you've got to go. You've got to go.
Now, the following night last week, our roving reviewer Iona Lawrence was out and about for Ruby Shoes Podcast, this time at the New Wolsey Theatre.
Hi, Steph, and everyone listening to the Ruby Shoes podcast. So, last night I had the delightful opportunity to go to the New Wolsey Theatre to watch their new production of A Little Shop of Horrors, and my goodness, I was blown away. This was a combination of the New Wolsey teaming up with Whole Track Theatre and the Octagon Theatre Bolton, and it was directed by Lottie Wakenham. This starred some incredible all-star performers. There was Matthew Ganley as Orin, there was Matthew Hayward as an ensemble member, puppeteer, and very, very convincing drunk, I must say. There was the gorgeous Laura Jane Mathewson, who played Audrey, and she has a powerhouse of a voice. It was stunning. She could really project, and it filled the theatre. It was wonderful. And of course, you had the charming Oliver Maudsley as Seymour, who was one of the main characters, and he just stole your heart from the beginning. His little geeky tendencies really fit the character so well. And there were also some fantastic ensemble members of Joanna Zoela Mitchell dos Santos and Sade, who played the lovely little musicians and dancers, and they really filled the stage. They had great stage presence. They kept popping up and with their jazzy dance numbers and really, really impressive, powerful voices. There was also the incredible Anton Steffens, who played the plant itself. No spoilers though. And the way he filled the auditorium was incredible. It was really, really strong performances all around from all of the cast members. Andrew Whitehead played the very lovable Mr. Mushnick in the end. He was wonderful. He really engulfed the character, and he really made you believe he was this poor done by florist owner. So, if anyone is unaware of what happens in A Little Shop of Horrors, it's all set in the florist on Skid Row. And Skid Row doesn't have the best reputation of upmarket places. But the way the Wolsey created the stage to make the whole production work on the single stage without too many set changes was wonderful. Actually, I really enjoyed watching the florist go from run down to, as they get a little bit more money, the lights changing and the sound changing, and even when the plants were changing and growing and blossoming, it just really worked. I was really impressed. All the performers were so multi-talented. They had stunning, powerful voices and a really high-energy, jazzy dance style. They had captivating stage presence that really, really drew you in. Honestly, you could feel the emotion pouring out of some of them. It was really lovely. The relationships that they developed between themselves really was very powerful. They injected a lot of moments of humour because it's quite a fun musical itself. But each character had real depth, and I believed every single one of them throughout. I was very, very impressed. One of the best parts of the show for me was, I think, the way that they kept it very modern. It felt like a real modern take on A Little Shop of Horrors, because the story is a classic. I think lots of people will recognise the songs, even if they've not seen the musical themselves. However, the one thing that I would say was the believable character of the dentist. He could have been a little bit harsher or a little bit more evil, but I think for the children and for everyone else, they could really enjoy him and enjoy the light-hearted take on the production of the show. All around, I was very, very I was really impressed. It was a great length, but there were 2 acts with an interval in the middle, and it felt like a really apt amount of time. You were left wanting just a little bit more, but every song just filled the room and just kept you really interested throughout. If anyone can have the opportunity to go and see it, or see anything that the New Wolsey can offer, I would 100% recommend, because it's a great venue, a great location, great auditorium, really comfy seats, I must admit, and all round a really enjoyable show. I had an amazing time. This has been Iona Lawrence for the Ruby Shoes podcast. Have a great day, everyone.
Finally, on Mother's Day at the Spa Pavilion in Felixstowe, they played host to Colleen Nolan, one of the Nolan sisters, of course, and more recently most regularly seen on Loose Women. She was joined on stage by one of her sons, Shane Nolan, who is the image of his father, Shane Ritchie. We very much enjoyed 2 shows for the price of one. It was pleasant and unexpected bonus. Shane came on first and entertained the audience, despite it being only 4 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. He was an absolute master at getting the crowd going, and that Nolan vocal gene has definitely been passed on to him, as he proved by singing several boy band favourites and also crooning to a song from the 1960s a cappella style. After a short break, Colleen Nolan came on stage and was greeted by a nice, warm and friendly crowd at the spa. Of course, she had to sing I'm in the Mood for Dancing to end her set, but not before surprising us all with a fantastic version of Somewhere from West Side Story. Huge orchestral version of the song, proving she still has an amazing vocal ability.
What's on across Suffolk with Stephanie McIntyre. Sponsored by Ruby Shoes Podcast, your weekly entertainment news podcast. Available from your smart speaker, Apple, Spotify, or you just follow Ruby Shoes Podcast on Facebook and click on the weekly podcast link to listen.
There's a host of great shows on offer across Suffolk's magnificent theatres, and here's just a selection to tempt you. Tuesday the 12th through to Saturday the 16th of March, get yourself over to the Bury Theatre Royal for The Time Machine, a comedy. Direct from its London run, the must-see comedy of 2023 hits the road this spring. Join George, Amy and Michael for the premiere of their brand new version of The Time Machine. H.G. Wells' comic deadly serious masterpiece will never be the same again as this hapless, highly skilled group of actors embark on a journey of a lifetime. Will George persuade the others to stick to the script he's worked so hard on? Will Michael be able to explain time travel without the help of excessive props? Will Amy get to sing her Cher tribute? And ultimately, will they be able to defeat the space-time paradox or at least get through to the second half? For more information, go to theatreroyal.org. Thursday the 14th of March at the Ipswich Regent Theatre, there's just a few remaining tickets left to see Robert Plant's Saving Grace. The esteemed cooperative featuring Susie Deanne on vocals, Ollie Jefferson percussion, Tony Kelsey mandolin, baritone, acoustic guitar, and Matt Worley on banjo, acoustic, baritone guitars and curito. Go to ipswichtheatres.co.uk for more information. Troy Hawke, the Greeters Guild, is at the Ipswich Corn Exchange on Thursday the 14th of March. Everyone's favourite 1930s throwback greetings and compliments aficionado, Troy Hawke is coming to the Ipswich Corn Exchange on Thursday the 14th of March. A journey was started with a non-consensual customer service shift outside TK Maxx in Macclesfield has led him round the world and directly into the orbit of the world's biggest sporting figures. He's confused Premiership footballers, he's been threatened by heavyweight boxers, and improved the vocabulary of Formula One legends. In this show, Troy explains exactly why a well-dressed man simply being nice to people has caused such a kerfuffle. Go to ipswichtheatres.co.uk for more information. The Marina Theatre in Lowestoft play host to Stuart Michael, psychic medium, on Friday the 15th of March at 7:30. A thrilling and intriguing night of psychic mediumship. Boasting an impressive worldwide celebrity client list, Stuart brings his quick-witted humour, sensitivity and compassion to the stage. Intuitively drawn to members of the audience, he brings forward direct messages from the other side. Don't worry where you're sitting, Stuart will find you if he has a message for you. Click on marinatheatre.co.uk for more details. Tina Live, the Tina Turner Experience, is at the Felixstowe Spa on Saturday the 16th of March. A brand new show for 2024, a full concert-style stage show charting the hits and career of the late, great Tina Turner. From the early days onwards, starring Julie Nevada as Tina with her amazing band and dancers. This fully live, energetic stage show charts the career of one of the world's most iconic performers, is packed full of hits including Private Dancer, Nutbush City Limits, Proud Mary, River Deep, Mountain High and Let's Stay Together, to name just a few. It's a stunning show and the ultimate night out. For more details, go to spapavilion.uk. And finally, The Little Shop of Horrors is currently running at the New Wolsey Theatre. It's on until Saturday the 23rd of March. For more details and to get your tickets, go to wolseytheatre.co.uk. Now, we're a little bit sad this week as we've had to temporarily say goodbye to Iona Lawrence, our roving reviewer, as she and her husband Chris have landed themselves a plum role performing for the next 12 months. Huge congratulations to both of them, but it does leave us with a space for another roving reviewer for the Ruby Shoes podcast. If you think to yourself, well, I'd quite like to have a go at reviewing some shows, get in touch with us via our Facebook page, Ruby Shoes Podcast, and tell us a little bit about yourself and why you love live theatre. You can always listen again to the Ruby Shoes podcast via Apple or Spotify or your smart speaker, or just by simply clicking on the weekly podcast links in our Facebook page. And follow us too for all the latest entertainment news. I'm Steph McIntyre. Thanks for listening. We'll chat more about live theatre and all kinds of entertainment in next week's episode. In the meantime, just check out those socials for us. We'd love you to follow us at Ruby Shoes Podcast. Have a great week.